Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to Prime Hour, the last edition for this week. We are going to be looking at the CDC, discussing with their workers. Their conditions have not been the best. We're going to be moving into the camps of CDC workers. They are crying for a very long time. The salaries or wages have not been paid, and you understand under what context they are working. The Anglophone crisis, most of them have been subject of attacks by separatists and a host of others. But this evening, the CDC workers have felt the need to call to the consciences of every Cameroonian, Anglophones in particular, to spare them of anything that has to do with the political crisis that is ongoing in Cameroon. So the workers are in the studio with me this evening to share their experiences and expectations from Cameroon as a whole, Anglophone community in particular. We are in the studio with workers of the CDC. Mr. Nkwenti Humphrey is a widow all the way from Debundscha, Palms Estate. Good evening, Mr. Nkwenti. We're glad to have you on Prime Hour for the very first time.
Good evening, Mr. Leo.
How is Debundscha doing today?
No, Debundscha is fine, and too much rain. But everybody there is okay.
Okay, everybody in Debundscha is okay. Yeah. So we're going to be sharing with Mr. Nkwenti Humphrey all the way from Debundscha. Debundscha is West Coast Subdivision, Fako Division of Cameroon. Yes. So we also are in the company of Dr. Ako John Ako. He's going to be accompanying these workers. Good evening, Doctor, and welcome.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Once more again, talking Cameroon, talking Africa, and once this one at the heart of Cameroon, the Cameroon Development Corporation, a corporation that was known historic in its character and unity or uniqueness within Southern Cameroon. Today, the corporation we had known, it's on its knees. And a lot of times people say, we have to destroy it that we will build and construct a better one. A better one is what modern enough in the bush. The CDC remains a pride of all Anglophone Cameroonians and many that are still to come. It remains historic, and why not a touristic destination for all. Today when we pass around these farms, the worst of it is the banana plantations, which we don't even find bananas again in the southwest region. It is quite shocking. Can Anglophone Cameroonians take a look at the cause and the consequences of what we have been fighting for, but not the infrastructure that we have equally built. The people that make us proud today are littered on the streets of Cameroon, the workers. More than 24,000 workers of that estate have become vacant. Others have become hawkers and beggars in streets and cities in and around the country. Can we salvage the situation? It is yes. If Cameroon can do so for Kameko, if Cameroon can make same for Chantier Naval and did same for autonomous port of Douala, then the CDC equally need that equal strength of assistance.
Okay. We also are in the company of Mr. Nochi Solomon. He's a Foreman Technical Services. Good evening, Mr. Nochi. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, Mr. Liu, you are welcome. I'm very privileged to be here today to talk about the CDC activities, and I know my fellow workers who are there in technical service department, they are watching me right now. And you know, we have to actually air out our minds so that everybody should be satisfied for whatsoever we are going to handle this evening here. You are welcome, Mr. Liu.
Okay. We are also in the company of Madame Kome Pamela. She is a teacher working in Penda-Mboko in Mungu Division, Littoral Region. Good evening, Madam.
Good evening, sir.
How is Penda-Mboko?
Penda-Mboko could be better.
Okay.
If things were better.
Yeah, speaking parables.
Yeah, what I mean is that CDC has been a self-sustaining corporation. CDC has weathered a lot of storms. I remember 1989, 94, CDC workers had to pay compulsory services to sustain CDC. So that it shouldn't go bankrupt. They did that for 4 years, and CDC was revamped. We've had other problems where we were building the factories in oil mill at Bua. But right now, I don't know whether we are shooting ourselves on the leg, whether we are trying to revamp CDC, whether CDC is in a political state, whether we want to kill ourselves by killing CDC. It's sad.
Madam Kome, can you paint a picture of what CDC is going through and what you think Anglophones are doing to the CDC?
CDC has been the pride of all English-speaking Cameroonians. First, it's not news that CDC is the next employer after the government. CDC has revamped this economy. Now CDC is lame. What I'm trying to say is that the government needs to do something. But before I call on the government, who are the people of this region who have enjoyed CDC for this length of time? Who are the people who benefit from CDC? Because to be honest, statistics will tell you that 3/4 of the directors from the English-speaking region, the ministers, have something in common with CDC. And my problem is that they watch CDC die. They watch the breadbasket of the Anglophone regions die. Without CDC, there is nothing. So I think we all need to put our hands together, heads together. They should come. They should pay something. They should do something for where they got what they have. They should come, let's revamp CDC. It is not general manager CDC. I think if I was given an option, I would not opt to be the general manager of CDC.
At this time?
It's torture. It's not something you want to give to your enemy. So I don't know that I'm too early to start making my plea. CDC is suffering, yes. CDC is dying, yes. CDC has so many estates of which they are not working. CDC before this crisis had roughly 20,000 workers. Now we have 15,500, roughly 16,000. CDC has 18 estates, 11 for rubber, 8 are working. But the working, I'm telling you, is 40%. Because all the valiant workers we had who, between the age range of 18 to 35, who are strong enough to harvest the palms, who are strong enough to tap the rubber, have taken off because they don't have commitments. What we have now are all worn-out workers with a lot of baggage, wives and children who cannot take off. So CDC is suffering. And we can motivate. We can bring back CDC if we focus. We can bring back CDC if we are allowed to work. We can bring back CDC if we are spared from this war. We can bring back CDC if we put our hearts together, and all those who have benefited from CDC come together, donate to what sponsored them, look for means, especially for this month of September where people are going, we have to send our children to schools. Schools that we have even been deprived of. Schools that have rendered our children thieves and harlots all over. Especially at this period, I will call on the ministers who are from English-speaking region. I will call on the directors, especially the one from they call him Port, Mr. something, I forgot his name. I will call on Mr. Tanganji. I will call on the former GM of CDC, Mr. Musonge. What legacy is he leaving behind if he allows CDC to die? And at this period, what can he do? I'll call on the Prime Minister. We need to send our children to school. This is September. We need all the aid they can give. This is an immediate cry. Then we can go to the prolonged business.
Okay. Now, Mr. Nkwenti, you are from Debundscha. Can you paint a picture of how the CDC workers in Debundscha are surviving?
Mr. Leo, the CDC workers in Debundscha are suffering.
Okay.
They are suffering. So we need help from the Anglophone people. Let these guys keep CDC aside when they are doing their things. We need help, please. You people should stop your problem with CDC. We need help. As for now, our children cannot go to school because there is no money. Workers are dying. Workers are dying because of poor living condition. So we need help from our Anglophone brother. The only hope we have is CDC. And if CDC dies, then Anglophone is no more. So please, my Anglophone brothers, people should focus to see how CDC can revive, because it's the only cooperation that we have. We don't have anything again in this Anglophone region. So I'm pleading, if we have our grievances, let's keep CDC aside and we focus for CDC to stand. Before
but how are the guys, you work in Debundscha, how is life in Debundscha? How are they surviving?
Mr. Leo, most of the workers in Debundscha, they have left.
Okay.
Yeah, due to non-paid of salary. So the life in Debundscha is not moving at first, because the salary is not moving. And you know what the workers need is money. So they left Debundscha to different areas to look for their daily bread to come and send their children to school. Yes. So the most important thing, we just need this peace to reign, and then let them come back and work so that we have our salary. Because we have been pleading to government, and up till now, there is no result from government. So I would like to lay this emphasis to our Anglophone brothers, home and abroad. Some of you abroad, you lay hands with these boys to come and fight us, and which is not good. Please, it is our company. Please, Mr. Sako, Mr. Chris Anu, all of us are Anglophone, and we don't have any hope apart of CDC. Please, this is September. My child cannot go to school because I don't have salary to send my children to school. So please, people should try and consider us. Keep CDC aside from this thing, please. Let's continue.
Now,
for
how long have you been working with the CDC?
18 years today.
And your children are living with you in Debundscha?
Yes. 2 are living in me in Debundscha, and then the other 2 are with my mother in Tiko.
Okay. Dr. Ako, John Ako, you've listened to Madam Kome Pamela. You've also listened to Mr. Nochi Solomon. No, to Mr. Nkwenti. They are asking that CDC should be spared from all this political tussle.
Yeah, I believe
without the CDC, what can Anglophones actually boast of as a legacy for themselves?
One of the things, again, we are not even talking about Anglophones too. CDC is a national image. In fact, I don't think for over 70 years after independence, we have another cooperation, agricultural cooperation that Cameroon is proud of rather than the CDC. What I was saying at the very beginning is today it is sad to see that nothing is working in CDC. And a lot of people still feel very comfortable in their homes. There are things which we call them things of emergency. If we were talking of reconstructing the Northwest and the Southwest, I believe if there is one thing we need to reconstruct and rebuild is CDC. One of the greatest foundation of attraction and even economic might is somewhere it is written that the CDC annually contributes about 22 billion to the state budget. And if Cameroon is having a problem today, even when it comes to feeding, you can imagine that the major cities of Douala and Yaoundé, in fact, Douala in particular, that is very linked and close to this particular farms of the CDC, is finding difficulties to eat. The markets are empty. Women will tell you that bananas are not even available in the market. This is what used to survive a lot of homes. And we are coming today a lot. Like, in fact, those who have been fighting in the bushes. And if we have threatened, we have amputated arms and even other parts of humans because we wanted to threaten people to keep away from the CDC. In fighting, we need to protect first the infrastructure that we have and see if we can add value to it. But today, in fact, the CDC is all on its own. And those who have been within this area, I'm telling you that the situation is sad. If you can take a look, in fact, people telling you that the resumption in some of the quarters or in some of the camps is very, very timid. And if a lot of people are not aware, you realize that the mites of some of these places were places like Malindi that have been highly hit by the crisis. And again, you talk of the Miancha. We can talk of the Mile 29. For those who live around the Mautu area, you will believe that this were the heart, the Penda-Mboko areas. These were the heart of the crisis. But today, I think Anglophone Cameroonians, in particular, one should not equally and even be talked about if we have somebody, the former DM of that particular corporation, Peter Mafani Musonge, still standing. And if CDC need to move over, there is a need of some of those major actors like Peter Mafani Musonge to take over the plight. That it is our corporation and then the image need to be protected. We are protecting CDC plus its workers. There is no corporation without personnel. Likewise, there are no personnel in a company without a company. So for us to protect either of them, for now, the problem is that as we see, a lot of these workers are going under stress. And the stress can only be felt now, just imagining that every father at this particular juncture is trying to see how each and everybody is preparing for the children back to school. Are those people living in these camps, are they capable of sustaining their life? Just imagine somebody passing 25 years in one camp and today he is told that he can't even feed, or better still, get a bag, a book or a pen for his or her children. It is going to really be, hard. The harshness of life within this area is very unbearable, which means I cannot be talking without forgetting the goodwill gesture of Bella Moki Charles, a senator as young and vibrant at his age. I know he has always made things happen and can make this equally happen. All those who are involved within this particular area should think of the glorious days of the CDC. I quite remember what they used to call of the payday. The payday in CDC did not only profit the workers, but equally its environs. A lot of people felt and always at that liberty when CDC pay workers. Are the workers now being paid? What is the nature of their life? Is the government thinking? If the government is not thinking, what are we doing as the elites? I'm not going very far. I have seen the Minister of Territorial Administration champion the race of rescuing those who are in difficulties. We are talking here in the name of Paul Atangaji. He has been the #1 of the government, and at any time, actions are always met. His words have always met with actions. And we think that if somebody, a Minister of Territorial Administration like Paul Atangaji, can take the move by itself, there is going to be plenty for these workers to even see at least the light of the school. If not for the whole academic year, at least for the beginning of this particular term. It is sad that people whom we have equally be talking, I'm not far from that particular for Tabetando or Bachontai village. I know his goodwill level, and that these are the actors, these are the lawmakers. They can survive this estate and survive its workers. There is still a lot. I'm telling you that I have passed around. I was in Boya last 2 weeks. It is very sad to see the conditions under which the children of some of these workers are going through.
Okay. Now, we also are going to be listening to Mr. Nochi Solomon. He's a former technical services. Can you paint a picture of what you guys are going through? I've had several members of your colleagues get to me, especially from Tiku, explaining what they're going through. Is it well with you people?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Liu. I've worked with the corporation for close to 33 years, and likely like what the matter was just saying, this is not how CDC was in existence before. Mm-hmm. Actually, in the technical services department, we take control of the mills and the factories. For example, presently the Mondone oil mill is down. We are doing everything possible to see that the oil mills get up. But we don't need distractors. Because in 2019, that was when we realized that the corporation would have even collapsed. But since we have come up to 2022, 2021, 2022, and we are still up, we know that there is progress in the corporation. So I want just to inform and just to tell my workers that they should have that faith. I know they are very annoyed because even the money that they have contributed in the credit union, which they were supposed to use to survive their children going back to school, the money is not available. But at least after 2 months' salary is being given, with the help of the corporation, as we are selling our oil, our rubber, the small income which is coming, and we are sure that the government is going to assist us. Like what the other speaker have just said, we are looking forth at the Anglophones who have passed through CDC. Even there is no minister who is from the Anglophone department or Anglophone section, or those abroad who are trying to bring in this disturbance, whose children or 1 or 2 of their relatives have not passed through CDC. CDC is the breadwinner after the government. So presently, we have 15,000 workers. We have some with force majeure, about 8,000 and working, and at least the corporation, without the help of the government, when they sell their rubber, they sell their palms, at least they make sure that they pay the workers. But it's not enough. We are pleading to all the ascendants of the Southwest and the Northwest who are out and in Cameroon that they should assist these corporations so that they should not fall. This is the only thing that we have in hand presently. If you allow this corporation to fall, then I don't know where we are going to. I'm just begging, pleading our ministers who are Anglophones and those who are abroad, who are looking at the company also. But I still insist, we don't want to distract us, because there are some individuals who are going around trying to deceive the workers, make them to understand as if the corporation is going down the drain. But I'll say no. We are fighting, and we will see that everything will be in the good mood. And I assure you that your children will go back to school and the corporation is going to assist you. Just put everything in prayer. That's what I realize that is supposed to be.
That's what you realize that is supposed to be. Let's take a first excerpt from one of the CDC camps this evening. Let's take a listen to how they are faring.
Yes, today the 19th, Friday the 19th, August 2022. We're there now with some CDC workers. For quite some time, these CDC workers don't complain about their pay. They complain say they don't receive pay. One find out from them whether true they don't receive their pay or na just talk with people and they talk. Yes, now some of the CDC workers in this now CDC come this. Person there way one talk. Any man for instance when I way one talk.
Yes.
Yes, but you be CDC worker?
Yes, I'm CDC worker.
Yes, you don't work for how long?
Don't want for. So don't want for. I'm going to 2 years.
You don't work going to 2 years?
Yes.
Yes, but when you receive pay?
No pay no didn't come. You don't want to suffer for 2021. The whole year. The whole year. Whenever take people here. They become larger for 20. They move some paper them. They get a full say that the owe we. Up to now, so no year no money you been talk about. Don't wait which is tired. Don't know where now mafia will tell you owner which we don't understand.
So they can give us some paper say they owe owner.
Yes.
And they say they will pay owner.
They will pay owner.
Yeah. Have you seen any of that kind of paper where they be give owner?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Now the kind of paper where they can't show give them. They tell them say their money they come now their money this. And since then, they say never receive no franc from this. But when we look this paper critically, it shows that the paper start from August 2018 up to July 2019. So looking from this paper, it means that say from August 2019 they will not start the pay owner. Okay, they never pay una since then. But una still work?
Yeah, the man do work. The word we say, we say they can't pay. Every day only talk, they come down. The soup pay, they work. We hungry, no pay. No school for picking them. How can I think them?
Yes, pa, you too be worker.
Yes, I be worker.
Then you the receive pay.
I don't receive pay since I don't work with graduating to pension time now. It don't be the worst now where they even come from with give 20,000 of time. Say me will work.
We didn't have a CDC come soon as some of the CDC picking in this where they play their football, they play with their made them. Yes. Who is this now? This.
Okay. Some explanations there, Madam. Can you explain, Madam Kome, what's happening? You've not been paid for so much time now?
I'll try to give a brief explanation on that.
Okay.
When this crisis started, we started having salary problems. You know, this crisis has been on for about 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
So we felt it bad, the management felt it bad to pay you this month, whereas it is payment for last year. Mm-hmm. So with the unions, they came together to a consensus to say, we'll calculate and keep, that's the grammar. We'll calculate what we are owing you and start paying you from the month of August. What I'm trying to say, this money is for the months that are not paid was calculated with the CDC seal. And I, for one, I insisted that they should give everybody so that we go through it and see whether there is an error. That one we know is pending. Unfortunately, they started paying us August, September, October, things got worse.
August, September, which year?
The same year after that, that should be 2018. 2018. Yes. 2019. The crisis became worse. People wanted to try and work. Some were maimed, some were killed. Because we lost everything. So CDC could not meet up. Mm-hmm. And for the sole fact that we have one buyer, when it doesn't come, we cannot eat rubber. Mm-hmm. I think that should be Michelin. So we'll have the couple packed there, and there is no buyer. We are a self-sustaining corporation. We sell, we produce our crops, we sell, and we pay ourselves. Now we can't sell, we can't produce, we can't sell, and even the ones we have, we couldn't sell. So the salary started dwindling up to this hour that we have. Some estates have 11 months, some have 13 months. How the arrears salary. I, for one, I think I have, I don't know whether it's 10 months or 1 year or what. It is not going. We are not making up to what we can pay the workers. But I want to tell you the philosophy in CDC, just because CDC is a family, it is serious. Because the GM and the management, they try to see that it goes round, no matter how small it is. We can take about 2 months to make the salary go round. Mm-hmm. So I just believe the problem, if we can produce, if they can allow us to work, if they can take us away from this conflict between the people and allow us to work, within 3 years, CDC might pay his people. But right now that we are not working, what are we going to do? I think that is the key problem.
That's the key problem. Yes, but Taku, if CDC cannot work, they cannot produce, they cannot sell, they cannot pay their workers. And we have thousands of them. You see how many? How many thousand?
Right now we have roughly 16,000, but we were 23 before the crisis. Most people
so
are
how do you take care of 16,000 persons when you cannot produce and sell?
Yeah, most often it is certain. At times the law too provide for that ground. Economic stress of a company might cause a company to grow a certain strategy. In fact, there are what we call ad hoc workers, meaning some people might be allowed to work for certain months, go home, while others come in to work before moving.
Yeah, but
on.
you have 16,000 workers. You
have
how many farms? So many.
For now, 8 are working. We have 20, but they are not functional.
Okay. So like imagine out of 28 camps are active, which means the estate or corporation should be working on about just 1/3 of its full force. That one is known. But my worry is that if the government had survived other state establishments, what more of the CDC? And we know very much of the economic importance of the CDC. You know how much money we cannot count again, how many billions the government of Cameroon had put in to survive Kameko. We don't know how much they put in to survive Chantier Naval. We cannot even count how many of those amounts, yes, at Sudekotong. We don't know how much when we're talking of the normalization of what today we call the feka food. We don't know how much money government put in. Why is government taking so long a time to come into the assistance of the CDC? We might not have loved to get into the problems of Cameroon by indexing, because what we have seen already is that the displacement and development of new plantations in other parts of the country, is it really a government strategy? If government is not willing, but those sons and daughters of this region, if we start with the number one, what we call the Prime Minister of the Republic, His Excellency Chief Dr. John Gute, can make a step. We cannot allow the CDC to crumble for others to come over, maybe laugh at us. Some people were saying here some time ago that Southern Cameroon were proud of the National School of a National Police Academy. Today, where is it? That one time they were talking of the TICOWAF. Where is it? Some time ago, they were equally talking of the deep seaport in Limbe. What can they be proud of? At least we should be proud of the CDC. And that every Southern Cameroonian, wheresoever he is, it is time for us to put that pride that we have had. That out of 20 different camps, just 8 are active. It simply means that even the management of that corporation is going through a deep financial stress to maybe even satisfy the other 8 camps that are in active services. So there is a lot we need to do. If we survive the CDC and its workers, we are not only surviving the workers and the CDC, we are surviving the image of the nation. We are surviving the wealth of this particular country. I said it somewhere here. CDC had been known as the second employer after the government. And if we can imagine that out of 23,000 workers, only 16,000 are at work, what has become of the other 7,000 that we have not seen or we cannot be accounted for? There is really a problem deeper than what we think. The crisis might have caused a physical, what we have witnessed physically, the moral part of it remains. The workers are under stress. The farms are under stress. Yes, the report given, I can quote it very well, that at the last revision of the implementation of the resolutions of the Major National Dialogue, the Prime Minister said it, that things are gradually returning to normalcy, which means too that CDC should be returning into normalcy. And what are those measures and what are those ways that we can come to assist such an establishment? Why not? There are people who are equally called members of the interim government who are fighting for a particular region. This is the time for us to make if you send your money to help this particular plantation, we will consider your donation of utmost importance. There is a need for us to show proof that we are for the people and not against the people. We should try to sustain this image that we are trying to fight, that it is ours and ours had to remain. There is a need for us to survive what we have seen, what we have felt, what we have enjoyed together. If FACO is proud today, nothing makes FACO very proud than the green trees of the CDC. So we need to survive this particular establishment, not only them, not only the people, but equally the state of Cameroon. 22 billion each year is an amount of money we really need to go for it. It's a natural resources. It is our land. It is fertile. It was given by God. Should we neglect the gift that we have had? Cameroon, deeply thinking, there are other establishments that do not really want the importance and the role of the CDC, and the government is sincerely and seriously always behind it. It is time for us to think. If not, why not? The Prime Minister can take upon himself with the Grand Chancellor, Peter Mafani-Musonga, why not create an ad hoc commission, even if it is at level of the Central Committee of the CPDM, to survive these particular stakes at the level of the CDC. Is an image which I believe Mr. Mafani-Musonga should have a hand into and even lead such a commission to survive it. We have made open door collections for other incidents in and around the country. Why not make an open door collection for the CDC? It is quite time we say hi while it is still near, because if we allow it, situations might get worse. And I am thinking, personally, that the Prime Minister should lead such a movement. Okay. And I'm telling you that it is really eating us. I'm unable to find the French oil we used to take from Mondoni. I am unable to get to Del Monte, in Tico, to collect the fresh banana when I pass around these areas. It is really withering down. The place is dying down. Should we all fold our hands and instead struggle over budgeting of what they call disarmament? There is a need to reconstruct and refashion the CDC.
Okay. Now, a brother from Debundscha, tell me how life used to be in Debundscha. Can you today say that the CDC has helped many persons become who they are today?
Yes, Mr. Leo. In Debundscha, so many people have benefited from CDC. But because of this crisis, so many people are suffering. So the life is different. So we just need government support to us. Because the life in Debundscha now is not moving. Because salary is not passing. Yes. So that is our main problem. We just need money. The workers need money to send their children to school.
What do you think the CDC represents to Anglophones?
Mr. Leo, as for me, CDC is my Anglophone, is our Anglophone company. So we cannot let CDC to die. Because if CDC die, we don't have any place to go. So we just need our Anglophone brothers, our ministers. If the government cannot help us, we Anglophone people will put our hands together and focus for CDC to not die. Because if CDC dies, these 15,000 workers will go to where? If there's no CDC today, Mr. Leo, these 15,000 workers will go to where? Let them go to the bush and join those boys. We don't want that. So we need our Anglophone brothers. The Prime Minister, Mr. Peter Mapani Musonge, the Director of Custom. We have so many Anglophone brothers in Yaoundé there. Please, it is the time for you people to kneel down and see to survive us. Because we are suffering. Mr. Leo, we are suffering. We are suffering. Workers are dying every day because of hunger and starvation. And then you people will be in Yaoundé and then saying things are normal. No, things are not normal. We need CDC to survive. Please.
We need CDC to survive. Very pathetic situation out there. Mr. Nochi, Solomon, Foreman, technical services. Salaries have not been regular. How are you guys surviving?
Yeah, with the technicians, they have their own possibility. They have their own ways of looking for a means after their job. You have the builders, you have the carpenters, you have the plumbers, you have the mechanics. At least there's something that they call job cans. At least after work, you can engage yourself somewhere and you see how you can handle situations. Like in technical service department where I'm working, at least like what Madam earlier said, we have 11 months of calculate and keep. Then the salary for 20, then we had 10 months in 2021. We have 7 months in 2022. If you add this all together, we give you 28 months, which the corporation is owing the technical service department. But without withstanding, the workers are still working. Because there are some workers who will come today, they will be making noise, oh, CC is not paying, we are not going to continue. But they are there. They are not living. The bloodstream in their vein is telling them that this corporation will survive one day.
You belong here.
Yeah, you belong here. You don't have to leave. Even that there are those who have gone out of the country. I know a worker who has gone right to Dubai. He came back and he was reinstated. He thought that going to that Dubai would be better. But he realized that the salary in Dubai was not even fruitful. So he came back to CDC and he was reinstated. So my cry is that we should join our hands together. And as the earlier colleagues have said, we are pleading on those who are the Anglophone brothers and sisters who are in the southwest and the northwest region. This is the only company we have presently which can survive us. Presently, our children will be going to school. They have recently, salary was paid, like in technical service, the salary that was paid was February 2021. The last salary that was paid is February 2021. And thanks to the general manager, he has also survived the management and supervisory staff. As of today, as I'm saying, they have also received their own salary. It is because of the rubber, the palm oil, which those workers who are still in service, they are fighting to go up and down to see that we produce these things so that when they sell, then they can pay us. And I want workers to understand that they should not only understand that, they should only think that selling rubber, selling palms is only for salary. We have water which we are drinking, which we have to put chlorine. CDC must buy chlorine. We have the hospital, which sister worker, when they are sick, they go and they give them drugs. We have to put some of the money in the service of the medical service so that we can have drugs for workers who are sick. Mostly now that malaria is up and down, trying to handle workers. So they should not only think that because so workers, for example, in an industrial unit, if they say 15 containers have gone the year, the workers already know the amount of the 15 containers. If they say 20 tankers have gone in the Mondoni palm or Mono oil or oil, they already know the amount. But that amount is not only for salary. We are using that amount to do other things. You have maintenance. The tractors can have a failure in the bush. The hub can be bad. We need to buy the bearings of the hub. They have the breakdowns in the industrial unit factories. The shaft can be broken down. They have to buy a new shaft and they fill. We have to fabricate cages, which the oil mill is using to cook the palms, which they are grinding, then they produce the oil. We have the boogies, which we have to buy materials. So we should only put in our head that when they sell these things, it's only salary. They should also think of maintenance. And the water which we are drinking, they have to buy chlorine. The medicine which they have to buy so that they treat the workers who are sick. So I'm pleading on my brothers and sisters that we should join our hands together and also see that when we put our hands together so that those who are outside.
But they have been sacrificing for long now.
Yes, they have been sacrificing for long. I know that very well. They have been sacrificing for long. But now I've realized that if things are coming to normalcy in the corporation, things are coming to normalcy because although there are some areas where they have been disturbed, but some certain areas have started working. Like for example, like in the Mongo palm, formerly they were not working. They are now working. That's some estates which have started working. At least with time, things will be fine. So we should not only look at the area that salary should be all the time, but the government has to assist us also.
Madam Kome, what is the situation of the teachers? You are a teacher. For how long have you been working?
30 years plus.
30 years working with CDC?
As a teacher with CDC. That's to show you that CDC is not even a mama. CDC is just like a whale where everybody, you have your share, but don't cut the head. But this our generation is about killing it. People have breastfed from CDC, and now the legacy we are supposed to maintain, we are killing it. I've been with CDC where, when I started, the buoyant CDC will give a school 300,000 to prepare food for those children on the 11th of February. CDC will transport those children and give a special tanker to carry them drinking water. That was the CDC. So when it came to that 1989, when things were bad, CDC spoke to the workers and everybody accepted, where they paid the compulsory savings. When they paid this compulsory savings, it was for 4 years. Some people are 18% of their salary, reduced 25. I think the highest was 25. But after that, there was a company agreement with the Prime Minister still alive, which stated that 50% of CDC is for those who sacrifice for the compulsory savings. The 15% didn't mean CDC had to allow them control 15%. It simply meant when they are going on pension, 15% of their amicable separation bonus will be added to them. That was CDC. We paid, we sacrificed for 4 years. It went. That's why I realized when we even come here calling on elites, I feel so bad because CDC has never been beggars. What I am trying to say here, I feel so ashamed that what our parents left for us, we are killing it. We don't need really to beg. We are calling them to use your head, use their intellect. We don't need them to give us money. Let them meet the president. Let them meet their various groups. Those of the SACO and everybody, let them come together and see what advantage or disadvantage CDC has in their war. Let the government see that they can also, the person who is considered bigger is the big person who goes to the smaller person and say, okay, let's sit and talk. Talk and let us, we are not politicians in CDC, we are farmers. Just let us live, because right now, I can't tell you how many women have delivered on top of the ferry because we don't have an ambulance in Penda-Mboko. Penda-Mboko is made up of Matuke Fact. We used to have 3 ambulances for Compina and everything. But right now you are in labor. They will manage to carry on a bike. Our houses are dilapidated. This is not CDC. And everybody in CDC now is there for the love of CDC. Some people have the advantage of going to have greener pasture somewhere. But I think we have something, I don't know that it's a bond, where we call the CDC family, that nobody wants to live no matter how bad. Everybody is there, because I will tell you now, the people of CDC are working for free. We are sacrificing for, but it's going to take the sacrifice of a choosing few to build the CDC. So that's why we come up with the help. Why do you boast of the people, of your own people, if they cannot come to you when you are bereaved? Because I think even when you are married, you are getting married, somebody comes or it doesn't come, it's enjoyment, you don't feel it. But when you are burying your father, your best friend doesn't come. So that's why we are calling on all the degree holders, the masters and the PhD out of this country. You might not have monies to give us, yes, but you might have something to do. You might look for a good buyer for us for the rubber, which we sell double than what Michelin is giving us. I'm just surprised what Mr. Musonge, Diongute, in their afterlife, we tell the people. We even tell Njalakwan what they made of CDC. If CDC can sustain itself in development. The rubber in Penda-Mboko, CDC took no loan. CDC did it out of. If you look at the beautiful oil mill we have at Boa, is it Ewane or Boa? It took more than, 500 million? CDC did it on our own. So I come together, those who are against CDC. CDC doesn't even have money to pay for politics, so they shouldn't kill us. Let CDC go. If CDC goes and our workers go back to work, I can guarantee within 3 years, CDC might be able to meet up with their financial situation. CDC might have the roots, the freedom of having loans to revamp. All we want is peace. All we want now is help for this September so we can send our children to school, emergency help. If the diaspora and the government and the minister can pay us 3, 4, 5 months salary, it will help, because when these people have their salary, they are very present at work.
Okay, they are very present at work. Now, not too good situation that you guys are presenting out here. Dr. Ako, John Ako, do you, how do we get these guys? Well, before I come to you even, how was life in CDC before now?
Yeah, formally, as the barrister earlier said, during payday, you will see it for yourself. I just give an example. I spend most of my time like a technician working out. I bear the ferry in Penda-Mboko. The most of the water tank which are in Penda-Mboko, I was the one who constructed them. When I was in Penda-Mboko, a time when they are during salary, you realize that women will go around with big pot. You ask what is in that pot, they say pork meat. They cook that pork meat, they take the salary at 7 p.m. People are out enjoying. Even in Tiko, in water tank, women will wash their pots. When you see women wash their pot, they put them outside, they are shining. They are waiting for their husbands to come with the salary so that at least some good food will be in the house. But today, most women have left their husband. Those who don't have trust for their husband because of no salary, most of them have left. You see somebody is sick, looking pale. Not that he's really sick, but it's just that he don't even have food to eat. There are some people who go and sleep in the hospital. When their neighbors go and give them food, the next day they are discharged simply because they don't have money to prepare food for themselves. So today, the whole thing is in a state that we cannot even talk about it. The way we used to enjoy CDC for the 33 years that have been the corporation, today is a different thing. It's just that those who are there, they have the heart to be in CDC. And those who have left, had another greener pasture somewhere, they have their own intention. And what Madam had earlier said, actually, those you find in the corporation are those who started the corporation. They have married with several children, they don't have anywhere to go. But those who are living are the young people who are just come, they have just been employed. They realize that it's a waste of time to work in the company that they don't have salary at the end of the month. But I'm sure, I know that better days are coming.
Better days are coming. I will have to have just received this one. I will read it out. Dear fellow Cameroonians, on those of Anglophone extraction in particular, I come to you all with a heavy heart. I have been listening to the CDC workers on my media prime today tell their heart-wrenching stories. It saddens me so much that our people are going through such sufferings and hardships. I started to despair, but immediately remember that as children of the Most High God, we cannot despair. There is always hope if we put all our trust in God. On the spur of the moment, I thought that community that we are can do something to bring immediate relief to these our brothers and sisters. They are here wondering how they will feed and send their children to school come September the 5th. This is where we as a community can step in and help. I hereby plead to all Anglophones and other Cameroonians who love us to join hands and help. We can rally 10,000 Anglophones and friends to donate at least 1,000 francs CFA each. If we do this, we will have at least 10 million francs CFA to send the CDC children back to school. We plead for this donation to start from today and run till the 31st of August. Dr. Michael Shea Debundscha will be collecting and coordinating the donations. Please send your donations to him at the following numbers: MTN 677887382, 677887382, Orange 697255159, Orange 697255159. I have already collected free will donations from 100 people, and I will immediately send that money to Dr. Debundscha. Let us do this by reaching out to all our families, friends, churches, co-workers, Njangi groups, fan clubs, WhatsApp groups, Facebook, and all social media groups. Thank you all so much in advance for helping those in need. Our God is a cheerful giver, and he loves cheerful givers. Yours sincerely, Lucy Ngombo. Okay, this is a message I'm just receiving from Dr. Lucy. She says that she wants 10,000 Anglophones to raise the sum of 1,000 francs each, and if everybody were to give 1,000 francs each, they are going to raise 10 million francs. I know many more can do more. Dr. Michael is the no, I read Dr. Michael. Dr. Ako, is this the way to go? We saw the reaction of the Manu people when the Manfe hospital was burned. Is this the way to go?
Normal. That's what, not far from what Dr. Lucy is saying. I said Anglophones have been those people, if they are ready for something, they go for it. And they have always made it shine. I sincerely, not forgetting Dr. Minister Dr. Victor Mengot, the special duties at the Presidency of the Republic, that my new people have thanked him a lot. And again, we find another problem right in front of us. They are all sons and daughters of the same region in which we are, and they are all Southern Cameroonians. We are saying that this is another situation for Southern Cameroon. We will not even relent our effort again to send a helping hand. Seeing already people who are already active and already doing the collection, I believe at the top, highest level, the government knows how it used to go about it. And at that particular juncture, we know the energy of Paul Atanganji, not undermining the energy of Minister Nalova, Professor Nalova Lyonga. I know what they can do. And if they come out really, 2 weeks will be too much for us. Looking into it, that we are presently on the 19th, it's about 10 days to the new school year. I know what these boys can do. Why not? The head of state and the wife, Madame Chantal Biya, they have been at the top of some initiative. I have seen situation of floods in the north, and the response the presidential couples have given to such incident. What of surviving workers and their children who are about going to school? The head of state can even, we know, on high instruction, disburse budget equally from the state as a rescue mission. I know the government equally has this particular budget at the level of the presidency to help those who are in stress. And this is a situation which is similar. Those who are around the presidency, particularly His Excellency Victor Mengot, can equally see it. Why not the Prime Minister, who is equally head of government, a lot of other dignitaries at that particular level. We think very sincerely that it is a way to go. We have known, if you are around English churches, you will know the spirit of giving. That Anglophones believe that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And several times, most English churches have been constructed from free will donations, not forgetting the Ewane witness with the ordination of the new bishop for the Mountain Diocese. What people did there can equally be the same for this particular situation around the CDC. Some time ago, others were thinking that it was right to attack. But today, when we see it sinking, it is like that ship that was ruling with all of us, and now water is penetrating. Can we survive the CDC? I know very strongly that Anglophone Cameroonians can do it. The top service guys can do it. They have done it, and they will continue to do it again. CDC is dying, but we can't let it die. If we let it die, then history will not be read of what we have done. Those who did it in the past, we have read about them. What is our role now? Can the history of Cameroon be rewritten that we survived CDC at the time it mostly needed us? This is the time. What of the schools? And one of those things people have not known is that those who work around the CDC were almost self-autonomous. Self-autonomous in that manner, I will tell you, there were schools around the area in the same camp. You have clinics and hospitals in the same camp. You have shops and boutiques or canteen in the same camp, which means there was a life out of another life. Meaning when you were in a camp, there is that aspect you feel that you were self-sustainable. So those who were not within the camp will not know what is going on. But today, a lot of those dispensaries have been closed down for absence of drugs and even other medication. Can we survive a lot of those things? Those who are around the Mianja camp and those who are around Muyuka or Penda-Mboko can really see what we are talking. Some people used to leave Limbe to meet friends at Penda-Mboko on payday. Is this still the story? And those are some of the things that move around. I can even imagine not getting much that we used to sponsor our own brothers and sisters at the initial time, those who are working in the camps. But imagine today your own brother living in a camp to come begging that you should help him with school fees. It is an Anglophone issue, and that we can do it. And if the will is there, then the way will come. So we need to survive CDC and let the workers have the same life like it has been before. People will tell you that history is what we have made in the past. Empire days were equally well felt around the CDC camps. We need it. I still pray and hope that one day I will be at my 2-9 and then I drink water from that clean source around Sus du Pays, and that will give me that life that I want. Can we give life back to these workers so too they can make a better life?
Good evening, Mr. Liu. The gentlemen in the panel are only focusing on the government to support. What the voices in the bushes who hunting for the CDC workers to see they should not do work. This is Messi Raymond writing from GKJM in Oku. Good evening to all in the house. Emmanuel watching from Kumba. The population can be of help if CDC is not in direct control with Yaoundé government. Please, I'm advising the Foreman that if he's in a better position, he should work with the people and see how the people can help the CDC. Okay, thank you very much. This one says CDC is down because of the Anglophone crisis. If the crisis stops, the CDC will bounce back. But somebody says everybody is blaming the government, but our own brothers are also involved in what the CDC is going through today.
Mr. Leo, when you talk of, say, everybody is blaming the government, as for me, they say CDC is a government company. But as I'm working with CDC, I don't think that CDC is a government company, because if CDC should be a government company, the government is supposed to help us with this crisis. Yes, so as for me, let's just
it is our company.
It is our company. The rubber tree is there, the palm tree is there, the banana is there. Let us focus ourselves and go back to the tree and we concentrate and we pay ourselves. That's why I'm saying that this company is not a political company. Let them keep their political issue aside and let us. Let's go back to our palm tree and our rubber tree and we continue ourselves. Because if we think that we are waiting for government, we have waited until too long. So we just need peace to reign and then let us go back home. Mr. Leo, I was born in CDC camp and I don't have anywhere to go. So I just pray for peace to reign. Let my brothers enjoy the social life we used to live. Just like when Dr. Ako said. Payday, I used to leave from Mondoni, trek with food to Pondo to go and enjoy myself when I was a kid. Leave from Matekam to Eswaswa to go and enjoy myself. But today, things, you cannot move. You cannot move, Mr. Liu. The life is not moving again because of this crisis. Mr. Liu, people are suffering. People are suffering. One of my workers died. We raised money out of our pocket to take the corpse to Babanki. Because of this crisis, there was no money for CDC. I went to the GM, explained. The GM put his hand like this. He shows me bundle of files for this very situation. Because of this crisis, there was no money. So I asked myself, so if tomorrow I died,
is this how?
Is this how? So I called my worker and said, let us concentrate and work.
Yes, but the person who is writing is saying that there are these guys who are also in the bushes who are stopping work. Don't you have a message for them?
That
I mean, I'm a boys. Yes.
Yeah. We are not blaming the government, really. We are blaming everybody. When I started, I spoke of the boys that leave CDC out of this conflict. It's like you are shooting your own self on the leg. Your parents are dying of hunger. Even you in the bush, you are suffering because your father cannot even give you 500 francs. It's like you killing the hand that feeds you. CDC is not in Yaoundé. CDC is the only place where our graduates can come and then they build a life. We have nothing to offer. Please, stop antagonizing the workers. CDC doesn't even have money that they will give to the government. Instead, we are asking the government to sustain CDC as of this period. So don't feel this is the CDC of those buoyant days. Please, my plea is, let the workers go. Let us come out of this situation. Let us not be beggars. Let us not be ridiculed. Let us not be put to shame. Allow us to work. We are strong people. We have been used to fending for ourselves. Please, my brothers, I know there is a reason why you are there. But can we work? So that your sisters all don't become harlots. Your brothers all don't become thieves. Because what is happening, if you take that CDC has at least 16,000 workers active now, multiplied by 2, that's a man and a woman is 32. Say everybody has just 2 child, that's 64,000 people. Where do you keep them? 64,000 thieves or 64,000 coffins? So I plead, I just believe we made an error from the beginning when we targeted CDC. So review your situation, our dear brothers. I am not in a place to judge you. I'm not in a place to tell you what to do. But as a sister to you, I think we shouldn't target CDC. That is shooting ourselves on the leg. And I'll say come back to the government. The government is the father. The government has done it for other people. Why not CDC? We'll always come back. We'll always blame the government. Yes, as the woman said. But it has happened to other people. Why have we been abandoned? It is 6 years. We started from 3 billion, 18 billion, 19 billion, 29 billion debt. Just the one for force majeure is more. So I will still blame the government, because if the government came to our rescue early enough, if the government can provide us with a conducive working environment, we will not be here crying. Thank you.
Okay, we will not be here crying. Mr. Liu, good evening, and the panelists. Okay, we are happy listening and watching at the program. Good evening, Mr. Liu, Kingsley from Kome. If those from the CDC are crying like this, okay. What about the IDPs? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Pedro, a teacher in Yaoundé. Please, for the free will donation number for the CDC workers, okay, to back to school project. Okay, I've just sent it to you. You can also join in assisting CDC workers to help their children back to school. This one says, when Boko Haram hit the North region, all Cameroonians contributed money, including us. CDC workers, this is time for others to rescue, especially those in the North too. Collins is writing from Ewane. Okay. Good evening to you all guys in the studio. Whatever is happening with CDC is a cost by us Anglophones, because our brothers were told that if the CDC is destroyed, the CDC in 3 months, and other company will be built. Let the boys in the bushes stop attacking the CDC and its workers. Patom is writing from Boya. Good evening to you, Patom. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for thinking about the CDC. The donation you just read is good, but how effective will it be? What we need is for the government to help us pay our salaries, if not just 2 or 3 months' salary. CDC workers are really suffering. If you see their living conditions, you will shed tears. No roads, no lights, toilet, water, etc. Please, Mr. Nkwenti, you speak in CDC language, Pidgin. Alice is writing from Mabeta. Okay? The guys want you to speak in Pidgin so that they can feel that you represent them. Okay? Good evening, everyone. My name is Lambi Jarvis. It's quite painful to see us at this level of the crisis. Sometimes I feel it's necessary to say the government has failed us, okay? Good evening, Mr. Kome. You are wonderful. More grace to you, your airboats. The Southwesterners are being marginalized by Northwesterners, okay? Good evening, Mr. Kome. What you are discussing in the studio is timely and very important. I venture to suggest that there should be a collection center in all the divisional headquarters of the southwest and northwest regions to do collection between now and the end of the month. Whichwe is writing from Bamenda. I don't know how we're going to organize that, but it's necessary. Good evening to everyone in this house. This is Ten Noah. I think the main CDC problem is from the voices in the bushes that are making the workers not to put in their best. So the result of the CDC output lies on the politicians. Thanks, Mr. Leo. My regards to Dr. Ako. Okay. Good evening to you watching us across the nation this evening. Hi, Mr. Kome. Here in Chang, elephants destroyed our corn farm. We are tired of them, okay? I don't know, many persons have written about elephant attacks. I don't know how that happened. I'm writing from Konya. We are begging the government to solve the problem. Let CDC go back to its rails. Our parents, families, and friends are dying, okay? CDC is down because of the Cameroon Anglophone crisis. Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. The government should try by all possible means to resolve the Anglophone crisis so as to bring CDC back to normal. Ote Samuel Etonge, writing from Big Bandi, Mbonge subdivision. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, what's the Momo name for the MTN number? Okay. It is Dr. Ndimancho. I don't know for if you want to donate. I need the free donation number, Mr. Leo. Okay. That's the number I've sent to you people. Anyway, it is not CDC that is asking for that. Someone who has always been watching our programs in the course of the program sent me that message to read out, and I am reading it out. I'll read it once again. It says, my dear fellow Cameroonians and those of Anglophone extraction in particular, I come to you all with a heavy heart. I have been listening to the CDC workers on my media prime today tell their heart-wrenching stories. It saddens me so much that our people are going through such suffering and hardships. I started to despair, but immediately remembered that as children of the Most High God, we cannot despair. There is always hope if we put all our trust in God. On the spur of the moment, I thought that as a community that we are, can do something to bring immediate relief to these our brothers and sisters. They are here wondering how they will feed and send their children to schools come September 5th. This is where we as a community can step in and help. I hereby plead to all Anglophones and other Cameroonians who love us to join hands and help. We can rally 10,000 Anglophones and friends to donate at least 1,000 francs each. If we do this, we will have at least 10 million francs CFA to send the CDC children back to school. We will plead for this donation to start from today and run till the 31st of August. Dr. Michael Shane Dimancho will be collecting and coordinating the donations. Please send your donations to him at the following numbers: MTN 677-887382, MTN 677-887382, Orange 697-255159, Orange 697-255159. I've already collected free will donations from 100 people, and I will immediately send that money to Dr. Ndimancho. Let us do this by reaching out to all our families, friends, churches, co-workers, Jangi groups, fan clubs, WhatsApp groups, Facebook, and all social media groups. Thank you all so much in advance for helping those in need. Our God is a cheerful giver. and he loves cheerful givers. Yours sincerely, Dr. Lucis Nkongbo. Let us join her to also do this. Now, we are looking at the situation you guys are passing through, and Dr. Lucy thinks that if 10,000 Anglophones can put 1,000 francs each, but we have elites. Is this the time for the elites not only to give this money, but to pressure whosoever to come to the assistance of the CDC? Yes.
Mr.
You're loving.
Yes. Look, I go back for the talk. They see my talk.
Okay, they see me talk pigeon. Yes.
They see my talk. The talk to understand.
Yes.
Just wait till you don't talk. Say they don't talk. Say make. They donate. Now good gesture. Now good idea. And make the Anglophone ministers them too. They see into this problem. If they get anything, because Mr. Leo, you know, if you imagine, say, I get a friend from Moyoka on a teacher. For the past 6 months of school, it take place for Moyoka, he receive the salary. And government of help we. So now, as it don't be for this way now, them for your own, they made a see way to way, they feel make sure say they chip in more because they go for school. So it is high time to for them to for chip in. Because where they happen for other side, which these workers will they contribute? It happen for some fire disaster, it happen for Boko Haram, CDC workers, that's how crisis never be, will be contribute money for help that side. So if you don't come now to for we to, me they do the contribute money for help we, more people go back for school. Because it's not easy for we now. We don't do contribution. Nation Cup come for here for CDC contribute money, we go for fee. Go watch the match. With this crisis time. So if now they don't come to now, we need help from them. Meet them with Anglophone brothers until they join hands together, they contribute, say they help women picking the two to go for school.
The technician who is in the studio with us, if you think that the elite needs to do more at the local level, persons may be doing something, but the elites themselves, do you have a message for them?
Yes, before I proceed, it's not good that we publicize something which is not correct. During 2021 budget, the Minister of Finance was questioned why the budget was up. He said proudly that CDC was included in the budget. That was the reason why the budget was up. But up to date, a single franc has not been given to CDC. So I'm doubting how the minister who said the budget was high because CDC was included. It was over the air. It was in the newspapers. But today, nothing has been done. But for the elites, they have been doing their best. Like what Dr. Elias said, you have somebody like Honorable Belamoki, that is somebody who has a listening ear. You have somebody like Honorable Mafani Musonga, who was the former general manager of CDC. I remember that when I was modifying the staircase of the CDC, because by then rain was pouring at the third story, I had to project. If you go to head office, you realize that there's some projection at the third story. I did that job. By then, he was the general manager of CDC. Things were moving well. But today, he cannot be sitting there and seeing how CDC is going at the other direction. With his son at the helm of CDC, then he allow him to fall. Then it will not be good. I'm pleading that the elite, they should support their own brother. They should not allow their brother to fall before they start laughing at him. Oh, this is how you have done, you did not handle it. I know somebody like Franklin J very well. I worked with him for close to 15 years when he was Director of Technical Service. He cannot have money like this and decide not to give to workers. Now the man is helpless. He is looking out from left to right. He wonder we should sell our crops before we can pay the workers. But the elites are then looking at him. If they support him, everything will go well. So we are pleading that the elite should support CDC at least we have it in our favor for now. And we are also pleading that the boys who are in the bushes used to be annoyed, but I realize that you have started regaining your own senses to see that you should not destroy what you think you can have it tomorrow. If you destroy the whole CDC, then tomorrow what will you have? So I'm pleading with you guys to actually remove your hand from CDC so that at least your own parents who deliver you are working in CDC. They are not receiving salary. What do you expect us to do? You have your own children who are going to school. If your fathers cannot send those your children to school, how will you manage to send them to school? So I'm pleading with you guys to see that at least allow us to work so that at least the crop that we can sell, seeing the government does not want to assist us, we manage the money that we have sold the crops, then we send our children to school so that they will pay us. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. Nice program. Thanks for enlightening us all. We are watching you from Nsungkikang municipality in the Boyo division. This is Richard writing from Nsungkikang. Good evening to you, Richard, and all of you watching us from Belo, from Fundong, and also from all the villages around Boyo division. Good evening, Mr. Liu and Boris Bosambe from Lime. Please, I wish to have the free donation number, okay? Just see what you can do to help the CDC workers so that they can send their children to school. Good evening, dear. Please, the number again on the screen for the donation, okay? I will send you the number for the donation so that we can help our brothers and sisters working in the CDC to go back to school. Good evening, Mr. Liu. You have a good program, but some of the people in your studio do not answer your questions well, like what lady just said. Okay, blaming the government. My question to her is, who declared this a war? Okay, I don't know what you mean by that. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Not leaving Pamol. Also, Paul, writing from Ekondo Titi. I'm preparing a special program for Pamol. I'm sure that's going to be next week. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, for the support number to the CDC workers and children. This is you writing from Fundong. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. I think the idea of donation for the CDC workers is very vital, because if we are waiting for the government, then we are merely wasting our time, because the rubber and palm plantations in the East province is growing rapidly because of what the government is putting in. It's Mr. Samuel writing from Edea. Good evening to you. Okay, so when you destroy the CDC and palms and rubber, know that other plantations are being developed elsewhere. So it is what we have. It's our joy. We need to preserve it. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program, but today I was late. I'm in Boya, Pa John. Please, can you people give back some points? Please, okay, you just need to go back to our Facebook page, My Media Prime Facebook page, or PT Media Group Facebook page, and follow the program from start. Congratulations to you, Charles Kebwa. Your son has made it in the GCE advanced level with 4 papers. Charles Kebwa works for My Media Prime in Bermuda. We say congratulations to you, Charles Kebwa. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panelists. A special one for Dr. Ako. CDC needs protection. Okay, it's already running. Okay, we need to support the CDC by all means so that it does not go down. Good evening to the studio. I'm a motherless boy writing from Douala, and my dad is in the hospital seriously of hernia and needs to be operated right now. Okay, Brian is writing from Douala. Brian, thank you very much. I know who you are. Good evening to the house. I'm Tita Shupi from Yaoundé. My brother and sister, please, we all know the root cause of the problem, and it's the Anglophone crisis. Please, for the free will donation and number. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Nice program. We will support you people, but they should not send their children to government schools. Okay. But these are CDC schools now. But
yes, there are government schools by CDC teachers.
Okay.
The governments don't have teachers in the school.
Okay.
Like in Penda-Mboko.
Good evening, Mr. Liu, to you and all the Prime panel. It's a wonderful idea to do the voluntary donation to assist the CDC workers to facilitate their resumption of school to the children. But how real is it when it's coordinated by certain individuals? I'm proposing that a fundraising date should be announced and conference organized for that purpose, and it should be broadcasted live, and those who will not be chanced to be present will send their donations. I'm in total support for the donations. Kingsley is writing from Bafang. I think, I don't know whether the CDC management is watching the program. If you're watching, this is a lofty proposal from someone who is watching from Bafang. There should be something that is organized for a nationwide donation to assist the workers of CDC. So CDC management is not here. I've gotten your proposal. I hope they are going. But you guys are working with the CDC. You can take this back to CDC, to top management. So you can take it back to top management when you leave the program. That some people think that they should organize something national so that people can assist. Please, can the number for the contribution be put on screen so people can copy? Nora is writing there. Good evening to you. Nora, please, Mr. Liu, shall do this for our fatherland. Ngede Collins is writing, Mr. Liu, there is no big problem with the CDC apart from the boys that cannot reason that the workers of the said plantations are their relatives. Okay? So many messages are coming if we have to read them. But Dr. Ako, you should have a message for everybody who is an Anglophone.
Yeah, in particularly, I wanted to respond to a lot of worries online. Those thinking that it is crisis and that crisis time cannot reconstruct. Others are thinking that there should be a return to peace and normalcy before any such contribution is made. One of the things we have been shocked by the crisis is attacking what we have. We cannot be thinking of constructing a nation and destroying what we have at hand. A bed at hand, I said, is worth more than 20 in the bushes. And which means that a lot of people who have been around the CDC, I said it is the oxygen, the bed, oxygen bed of the Southwest and the Northwest region. I mean, all Anglophones, nobody, everybody is proud. If not working at the CDC, at least you have a relative at the CDC benefiting from that particular plantation. I equally believe, like we have said several times, if we need to survive, then we need to survive the CDC. That is the loan. I mean, others said, there was Cameroon Bank, there was this bank, and all had been destroyed. Since this CDC is our own headquarters in the same region, can we protect it and forget about the squabbles? Others equally said they should blame the voices in the bushes. There is time for us to do this. I mean, we had called several times for a sincere, constructive dialogue, that there is a commission that will be set up for truth and reconciliation. This will be handled there. Now we have immediate issues. Your brother, my brother, your sister, my sister, our parents are suffering in pains. They are in deep pains. Can we survive them so that their children too gain the same education which some of our children are equally benefiting? I believe it is not time for who has done what or who hasn't done what. And I think sincerely that we forget, because some people equally come with what they call the Northwest-Southwest divide. It is not time for all these things. It is not a political campaign. It is a time to show solidarity. Solidarity for what we all had seen and what we had benefited. This is time for Cameroonians, particularly Anglophone Cameroonians. That is what I said. Even for those who call themselves or whosoever in whatsoever come, whether you are a federalist, you are a unionist, or you are a secessionist or restorationist, it is time for all of us to think in the same direction. Yes, we had felt pains and others are feeling it now the more. And these are those at the level working with the CDC. Can we send a helping hand to salvage the situation, and then we continue presenting our worries? It is not time for debate. That is why myself, I've taken upon myself not to get into more of the argument like others have been knowing. But I think if we can assist in the church, if you can put money in the offering basket, this is the time for us to put some assistance for the CDC. That is just what we are saying. Yeah, whether you are in Dallas, whether you are in Moscow, if you have been given to the orphanages, consider that these parents and these workers at Lord CDC equally need a livelihood.
Let me cue. It is true, everybody is talking about IDPs and the rest. But we are talking about the survival of an entity.
An entity.
The pride of Anglophones here.
The pride. The light. I'm telling you that if a lot of people don't know, if the FACO division is buoyant and vibrant it is today, it's thanks to the CDC. There are no two companies. There are no two companies. We have other establishments that are headed and controlled in a minor level by some other Cameroonians, but when it comes to the CDC, I sincerely think it is ours, and it remains ours. Nobody will carry the lands or the bananas from where they were planted. They are ours. And this is what we are saying. Can we protect it so that Cameroonians can move ahead? The same assistance too. Yes, you see somebody mean, during the Boko Haram, the fight against terrorism, Cameroonians contributed. We have forgotten somebody who many does not know. They maybe are not thinking about. Polo. We know how much he contributed into that basket to help fight Boko Haram in the north. These are the type of elites we still need them at this level of the CDC. I know a push factor. If people like Polo should come forward, what of the family of the Muketes? I know what they can do. And these are the type of people, we don't need to ask questions. Some people need help. Can we identify them? Yes, they are CDC workers. Can you direct the help to them? This is what we are saying. I always blame. Today, we are not blaming. It is an issue to handle, and I think we should handle it first. Even if it means taking a cloth to fall over your face, and you do this assistance for those who are going, or those who are working within this area. I don't know how many people have passed through this region, but some of the camps are nearly non-existent. Others have been walloped in. Today, they are a complete forest. Can we revive a lot of things? And we smile back. It is not really somebody will be thinking that maybe it's for the FACO, it is, and others are talking of moja. Remember, these are crises and every actor has his part. But for now, forget about those particular hitches. Let's pick an issue that bothers us. If we can construct a church that harbors the nation for centuries, why not construct an institution too of our own that can go above centuries? This is what we are saying.
Okay.
Protect the life of those who are working there and their children so that they can equally, really, sincerely get to school.
Okay. We're talking about likes of Minister Debundscha, Mofo. Yes. We are talking about likes of Dr. Asheri Kilo, who are in Yaoundé. We're talking about the Paul Tassong.
Yes, and not forgetting Honorable Joshua Osia.
Yes.
This is one of the most vibrant MPs we have, not only just in the political domain, but he's equally a business magnate. I believe these are people, if approaches are made, what more of the chairman of the SDF party, Nsungkikang, his position can attract a lot in the name of the CDC. And I think he's one of those people too that we need maybe a direct contact with him will really salvage the situation.
Yes, why not form an Anglophone caucus of the political elites across the board and then pressure for something to be done to salvage the situation of the CDC. These are all points that are being raised on this platform. We hope that the CDC management will take it back to CDC management, and why not form we could form something independent that can work for that. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I really appreciate what you are doing for this nation, especially for the English-speaking part of the nation. More grace to your ables. I'm watching you live from Kutaba. Good evening to you. Hello, Mr. Liu. Thank you for the wonderful work that you are doing for this nation. We Anglophones have wailed for PowerCam, Marketing Board, Cameroon Bank, WADA, etc. What is left? The CDC is our only hope and pride. It is time for Anglophones in particular and Cameroon in general to rise up and save our only pride. As far as helping the workers are concerned, I would wish that the government should come in strongly and help our children of school-going age. The government should provide the didactic materials, and why not ensure that all children living in CDC camps have an education that is completely free, no PTF levies. I am Ivo Dang, writing from Boya Bongo. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your son made it 11 papers with 5A. He said I should tell Mr. Liu, his second father from Boya. Okay, please, can you just call me tomorrow? I don't know who is writing, just call me tomorrow and tell him congratulations. I don't know who that is. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Writing from Kumba, the government is just not serious about the issue of the CDC workers because they are the producers of the company. With them, nothing can work, okay? Without the producers of the company, nothing can work. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Good topic. There is a saying that you shouldn't throw the little water you have because the rain is threatening to fall. Let the director of the CDC dialogue with the voices. They are his sons. Let him educate them on the importance of the CDC to the well-being of the Anglophones. Rather, if you say something is not good, instead of destroying the existing one, build another would be better than the one you condemn. Anglophones, wake up. Peace is the only solution. Richard is writing from Kumba. I think that is what we are saying out here. Okay, but you say the management of CDC should do that more. Educate these voices that whatever you are doing, we need to preserve the CDC. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. We are so proud of you to the good work. Many blessings from all the Anglophones suffering. God will reward you mightily. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu. May God bless you for bringing up this very important topic. CDC will never die. We are ready to contribute to take care of CDC workers. Operation 5,000 francs per family. Can you organize a live program for this contribution to be done with transparency? Linus is writing from Bamenda. Okay, Linus is also going the way the person from Bafang said. I don't know. Who am I? I don't know whether I have the capacity to do that. I will not want tomorrow to be accused of something. But if CDC management thinks that we can do something live so that people know, people can contribute to a basket to send CDC children to school. CDC management should think about that seriously. It may not necessarily be on My Media Prime TV. You could do it at the national TV or wherever, any other TV, but let management think about it because from every indication, Cameroonians are willing to assist. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's a big shame to our Anglophone brothers for allowing the almighty CDC to fall. I said Anglophone because if CDC is functioning today, the Anglophone elite will be the first one to mock the separatists by telling them that everything is normal, just like what happened with back to school opening, which will cause the boys to react angrily. Cameroon government is using Anglophone elites to destroy the Anglophones, okay? Dixon is writing from Gabon. Dixon, this is not a time to blame anybody. We need CDC to get back on its rails so that we can do something. Yes, certainly you have one word to the Anglophone elite or Anglophone community.
Anglophone community and all others of goodwill. What we're asking now, like support for these people, for our children to go to school, is not the real problem. This is just some aid.
It's short-term.
A short-term project. But now I'll call on the elites. It's good. They will donate monies. But is that our aim? Our aim is to have a free work and conducive working environment. So I will come back to tell the government that they have not done enough. And I will tell our brothers that it is time to smell the coffee. You don't kill yourself and you expect somebody to come and weep for you because the pains will be you. Let our brothers, let the anger go. I am not trying to mediate here, but I said let CDC out. Allow your brothers to work. They can even buy you granite tomorrow. And government, if you have done it for other people, do it for CDC. Why is our own case different? Mr. Prime Minister, how do you feel when we stay hungry and you are eating? Ministers, the governors, the GOs, the directors, most of you have benefited from CDC. Think about this legacy and try to uphold it.
Okay. Can we also get a word from you to our Anglophone community?
Yeah, I will still continue to plead with our Anglophone brothers to assist the company, assist CDC. Not only the Anglophone, even the Francophone brothers. There are some of them who are doing business with the CDC. And if this company collapses today, they will no more have access to do that business which they have with the CDC. So they have the possibility to assist. They should also assist. As my sisters earlier said, it's just a short term. But actually, a circular was removed. A circular was set out when CDC was a private parastatal. But recently, a document was sent out actually making us to understand that government has about 85% in this corporation. And if today we are crying that early to assist, those abroad should assist, then what is the government doing? Because the thought which the workers have is that the rubber sold, the palm oil sold, the government have a bank which the money is being transferred there. That's the thought which the workers have. But actually, if the government realize that the company is not moving well, and at this given time that we are expecting from them, I want to plead with the Prime Minister, the Minister of Territorial Administration, the Minister of the minister who is doing the rebuilding of the various areas which were being destroyed. Mr. Porterson, that he should concentrate on CDC now, since we are just before him and at his disposal, before he thought of reconstructing either the BLM or the other area. CDC is at his disposal. We are pleading. Thank you very much.
Okay. A brother from Debundscha.
Just like what you, Pastor Lono just talk. Mr. Porterson, when they will go around to do reconstruction for Southwest, CDC not be part for the reconstruction. So now we begin to go for school. Try now, see into CDC situation. Me go begin to go for school. And the only way that I tell you, because when we come for Southwest for reconstruction program, CDC no be there inside. But now, CDC now own Anglophone company. We now there for Yaoundé, we now see how we now see for revive CDC. Me go begin to go back for school. And with other Francophone families, they get business with for CDC. And then with Madame Nalova Lyonga, Minister of Secondary Education, Yambanga they go for a meal. With the process Yambanga, they me and they get salary. So I want to send this message. Me, you know, say Yambanga, they go for a meal. Small order, I will send up my meal. I work for them, I process them. And if you know today, say the process they take place and it takes salary, then how you go feel? My beginning will go to school. So please, try by all possible means. You see into do a problem. We don't suffer, mommy. I beg. Try by all possible means. No problem be solved.
Okay. Dr. Ako, John Ako, you have the last word for tonight.
Generally, I cannot go without saying that whatsoever we are doing here should have the courtesy of the government. And I'm thinking that the Prime Minister should take the lead. If there is a need, a committee can be set as a crisis committee to manage just this back to school, especially for the CDC. Then secondly, I believe the CDC management too has something to do. Why not get into churches and make it public? The CDC general manager has that power.
Yeah, but why not organize something national?
Yeah, that's what I said. If it is national, then the head of government should lead it. That is what I'm bringing with my proposal. Why not on the other side? You cannot meet everybody at different levels at the same time. The CDC management can organize for various towns or various religious bodies or civil society, make it a difference. If the timetable for 10 days is going to make it big. And so it is left for them to define what they want, while equally other civil society organizations are not left out. Those we have seen them during this particular crisis, some groups have been assisting from their own gestures, doing individual collection and then channel it back to the management of CDC to salvage this particular situation. Cameroon is down. Even the nation itself is not finding it easy these days. We can realize the high cost of living, prices of basic commodities to a level we have never, since I was born, I have never seen. But in 2008, we fought and thinking that it was going to get down. We are thinking that those who are at the CDC are paying the highest price of this crisis, and the government, the people of Cameroon, the elites of Southern Cameroon, the civil society can make a big, and we have always been doing it. And I think sincerely, if we can have the endorsement of the state, why not? Such an issue, like we have said here, can be broadcasted over the national media and make it an international concern. There are a lot of NGOs and individuals abroad that are capable of salvaging for those who are in need.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Liu, thanks for the good work you are doing for this country. Thanks very much. Pa John is writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu and all in the studio. Truly, as Dr. Ako has said, this is not time to blame. While thinking of contribution to be made, we should also think of only men of God who can manage the payments, otherwise it will end in private pockets like that operation of Antelope. Ngala Victor is writing from Pomenda. Ngala, please, let us just put this, let us stay positive. These guys are really in difficulty. I'm talking about the workers of the CDC. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I've just reacted to the donations. Thanks for the good job. Keep on. Mr. Leo Ngong Joseph is writing from Belo. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I like your program. Keep up. I'm writing from Dub. Good evening to you. This one says, this is really marginalization crying about. If it was okay, please, Ken is writing, Dr. Ken Metumba, I'm not interested in anything that is dividing Cameroonians. We should be positive, please. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I want to say that the first problem of the CDC should be looked into first, okay? Good evening to the host. Guest on my media prime on CDC matter. It's really sad to see the last Anglophone legacy crumble. If we say it's a government structure, then it shall be wiped off. My humble opinion is that let's take it as our own developmental projects for the community. Let's not allow our beautiful CDC crumble to ashes. As Maya rightly said, I remember when CDC was marching during the 1st of May. It was come and see. Douala used to come down to Limbe just to see. I'm short of words because I have tears running down my cheeks. MC Pride is writing from Yaoundé. MC Pride, mobilize. Let us save the CDC, please. Greetings to you and your panel, Mr. Liu. Talking about the CDC, we have very non-serious people who call themselves elites that derive pleasure in our misery. I am Mr. Ekwe of Bera, Bakoko, Indian Division. Mr. Liu, poverty in Cameroon has led us to scamming. This money should be sent to you in my media prime directly. Okay? Many proposals have been made. There is going to be, if you think that you want to assist them, send the numbers or you can get to me. I will send you the number. But many persons are proposing that CDC management should do something like what was done for the Indomitable Lions in 1994, where it is a nationwide something that companies, other persons.
Going very far to the Indomitable Lions, it was done just recently
Boko
Haram. And so yes, even the reconstruction of the Northwest and the Southwest that has not yet ended.
Why not just do something, a live broadcast of something that everybody sees it, and then
others have been doing.
CDC management should take note of that and see what they can do. I think it's very possible. We want to thank all of you. Mr. Nochi Solomon, a Foreman Technical Services at the CDC. Madam Kome Pamela, teacher, Penda-Mboko, working with CDC for 30 good years. And to you, Mr. Nochi Solomon, Foreman, Mr. Nkwenti Humphrey, reader in Debundscha Palms Estate. We are glad to have you, Dr. Ako John Ako, lecturer across some universities in Cameroon.
So without ending, I will equally plead on the light of an eminent professor. I'm talking of a friend and a father, Professor Boyomo. He's a member of the Central Committee of the CBDM and a communication officer at that top level.
He's our friend.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is one of our friends. And at its level, I know he's a man of words and action. He can do something for us. I'm using this honorable platform to plead that the CPDM Central Committee, led by Professor Boyomo, can get a hand for the CDC. And they have been doing it, and I believe they can do it this time.
Okay. We want to thank you all who took time out to watch this edition of the program. Thank you very much. And we say, this is Friday now. Yes. It's Fundraising. Madam Kome, are you going back to Penda-Mboko? I am taking you out to dance. Are you ready to dance?
No, I can't dance in the crisis is over. Better state.
Okay.
We are mourning.
We are mourning. But it's Fundraising. Please enjoy yourself, not too much. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alio.
Yeah.